Hey y'all, welcome to my garden. My name's Rachel. I garden on the Alabama Gulf Coast. I'm in zone 9A and I'm gardening for butterflies. I've been having some gardening adventures this week and not really doing very much planting, but just hanging out and finding some creatures. And I was just going to show y'all around a little bit and show you some things that I found, and that I'm going to be raising some monarch butterflies and some eastern black swallowtails, and I'll show you how I found them. And y'all just come along with me. Oh, and also I wanted to thank y'all so much for your prayers and all your well wishes. I'm feeling a lot better. I've still got a cough, but I'm feeling way better, so thank you. Y'all are so precious. I'm so thankful that I waited until this evening to do a video, because I was out in the garden earlier and I found some eastern black swallowtail caterpillars, and I'm going to show you where I found them. And I have another butterfly garden in the vicinity that I did as a project for a public institution. And so I went over there and I saw that a monarch butterfly was laying eggs on the milkweed, and I went and got some today, so I've got that. But this is the swamp milkweed, and it's finally blooming, and isn't it cool? Now there's some kind of gross beetles that are getting on it, and I don't know what they are, so I've just been getting them and smashing them because I don't know if they're like Japanese beetles or what. But I have been finding those, and I've been smushing them. Maybe somebody could tell me if they recognize this kind of beetle. Maybe I should grab it so you can see it. But the thing is, it tries to fly away as soon as you grab it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And so then I put it on and I stomp it. Okay, so so there you go. That's what it looks like. And it smells bad too. Maybe somebody can tell me what that is. But I've been crushing them. And look at this frog fruit right here. Isn't it cool? I love those sweet little flowers. We were over at a friend's house the other day. He lives on Wolf Bay, and just out in he doesn't really have a yard. I mean, it's just kind of like scrubby grass, but out in his yard, he had some of this just growing, this frog fruit. So that was so cool to see it in the wild. I mean, because it is a native plant, and I'm glad, because it's a larval host plant for a butterfly. But some stuff over here that I planted in pots, they're just not super colorful right now. I was going to tell y'all what they were, but they're just Sun Coleus and some Coleus, and I was hoping that they would fill out a little bit more. I bought some very small Rudbeckia Goldstrom, and that's one of them right there. So that's going to grow up to be black-eyed Susans, and they should get huge. I'm excited about that. I did a rescue operation on that. That's I think it's called Spanish heather. It was getting overgrown, so I went and dug that up and put in that pot and did a rescue operation on some of these other things that I bought from the nursery, and they were kind of fun. This is an Alabama Coleus. I really like the colors on it, and it was little and pitiful, and I got it for pretty cheap. Alabama Sun Coleus. So I'm looking forward to seeing if I can keep that alive, because it's looking kind of pitiful right now. And I got this hibiscus, and it's supposed to be kind of a peachy color. I heard that butterflies like it. I wanted to have a little bit more kind of warm and orangey tones and yellows in here. We'll see if that works out, because I've got this turmeric growing up here. It's making it look a little more tropical than I wanted it to. But oh, let me show y'all the roses. These are Sweet Spirit roses, and Sweet Spirit is just a lovely rose, just a beautiful. I'm loving all there's this huge stand of it, so that's making me happy in the garden right now. I love to look out the window and see that. And then I have some other things that I videoed like earlier in the week that I was going to show you all about. this finally blooming. And it looks better in the earlier things because it looks like it kind of split open. Isn't this wild native Monarch just beautiful? It's very tall. I mean, it's like 4 feet tall now. I'm very glad that I staked it, but I think it looks so good with the liatris and the Monarch and just all the little pops of blues and pinks, and it's just being really fun. This I cannot wait to show y'all when it blooms, because I don't know what it is, but I have it at my other butterfly garden, and it's already blooming there prolifically and profusely, and it just looks incredible. Something hilarious is last week, you know, I was going to have that slug beer party because I had noticed a bunch of slug detriment to my plants, and I got the beer out that I'd had in the pantry for several years, and it didn't work. And somebody commented in there like, you know that beer that you had was non-alcoholic, right? And I didn't realize that that's what the NA on the can meant. You can tell I don't shop for beer very often, and so I got non-alcoholic beer, and of course that didn't work because they've got to get drunk and drowned in the beer. So I've been meaning to buy some more beer so I can show you how it works, and I need to do that next week so we can get those slugs. I'm going to show y'all how to find monarch eggs. I happen to see a monarch flying around this milkweed, and they lay their eggs on the bottom side of the leaves, and that's 2 eggs right there. And I am about to harvest these and take them home, and I'm at my other butterfly garden that I have. So I'm going to harvest these here, but I'm going to take them home and raise them. Let me show you how to do that. I went ahead and broke this whole stem off because I'm going to put it in water, and I want to keep these leaves alive because it may take about a week for these eggs to emerge and to start eat these leaves. And the fresher the leaves are, the better it is for the caterpillars. Oh yay, y'all, finally it's happening. Look, here is an eastern black swallowtail caterpillar, and this is on fennel, and I've got several of them. I can see them from here. I've been checking to see if there were eggs. I've never seen eggs, and these caterpillars are a little bit larger than, look, see, that big. So I'm gonna get these and put them in a thing. I'm so excited that I'm gonna be raising monarch butterflies and eastern black swallowtails at the same time, because I just went out in my garden and I found some caterpillars for the black eastern swallowtail. So I was going to show you, this is that milkweed that I cut at my other butterfly garden. I have one that's like a project somewhere else, and I saw the monarch come to the garden yesterday, and I saw her laying eggs, and I was hoping I would be able to find some. So I think I may have about 10 or so eggs, but I cut it down and I've just put it in a glass. I need to get some of that clear plastic tape so that I can add more water and then tape it and just let it stay in there, and the tape will keep them from like falling in. And then also I'm going to do the same thing here. I have these 2 eastern black swallowtail caterpillars, and I found them on the fennel. They do seem to favor fennel. So there's one, and then here's the other one, and now we'll have 2 of those. I'm really excited about it, and I'm just going to show you that one that we raised not too long ago. This is the chrysalis. It's in the chrysalis, and it could stay in that until next year, but that's the one that we raised, I guess, about a month ago. I'm just going to put both of those inside this container for right now and turn it on its side so they can both fit in there. And then I'm going to close this, and I'm going to get some tape, and I'm going to clean out my other cage so I'll have 2 separate ones, each one for the monarchs and one for the... This is that lemon balm that I dug up from the circle garden and then decided to line this bed with, and it has grown so successfully. Lemon balm wants to live here, and I really do love it. I just don't like for it
get, take over things. But I've got to show y'all this. It's so darling. I had no idea because I grew this last year, but it never flowered. And here, look, lemon balm flowers. I should have known. I mean, you have to have seeds to grow it. And so it must set seeds somehow. And here it is. It's got these darling little flowers. Let's see if I can zoom in. Look, they're so tiny and delicate. Look how little. But is that not cool? I really had no idea, so I'm enjoying that. And look at this. This is some of that lace cap hydrangea that these I made from cuttings from my hydrangeas in the front. And I'm going to teach y'all how to do it. Look at the absolute perfection of this sweet Afton rose. The pale pink, it's so luscious and it smells incredible. This rose wants to live here and I love it so much. I would recommend it for anyone. Look at this combination. Is this not gorgeous? I'm enjoying it so much. I almost cut that little branch off right there from the hydrangea because it's on the ground. And I'm so glad I did it because look, it's blooming. And these are Coleus that I started from seed. I bought a package of seed, it was at Lowe's, and it had all kinds of random Coleus in it. And I put them in, I actually did put them in those little pods, and they came up, and I kept them in there for a long time because I didn't know what I wanted to do with them. And then I didn't even separate them, so there's like 3 different plants all together that started from seed in one of those little peat pots. And I just love this color combination of these pinks, and this is purplish pink, and oh, it's just making me so happy. Y'all, I would really recommend growing Coleus for like all around, constant color. It loves to live here. It really does. And it's super easy to propagate too. I'm going to show y'all how to do that also. I'm loving this morning glory. It looks kind of purplish here, but it's more of a magenta kind of color. And I have it growing on the fence and on this dead plum tree, and also that's Grandpa Ott, the purple. And I'm really enjoying it. I was hoping that things would grow all over the fence, and they are starting to do that. I wanted to have it all covered up so you couldn't see the grid, because the fence, I mean, come on, it's tacky, it's ugly, I know it. But if it gets covered up with living things, you won't ever be able to see it, and the deer can't come in and eat all the goodies. So the Stokes Aster is finally starting to open up and bloom, and thank God that the Monarch is still going. This bee balm right here, I don't even know what kind it is, but see how short it is? Someone said it must be a miniature version, and because bee balm does tend to get very tall and floppy. But Stokes Aster in the middle here. Don't you love it? Doesn't it look like it's glowing with those blooms that are about to open? I mean, it just is spectacular. And then we've got the coneflower right here, and it's got some kind of gross brown spots that are growing on the leaves, and that's probably my fault somehow, but I can't deal with that right now. And also I have that fuchsia salvia right here. It's been getting eaten, and I'm probably going to need to cut back this blue salvia so that the fuchsia salvia will have some room. But I am just loving this color combination so much. It makes me so happy. Now that I have trimmed the Amistad salvia on both sides, and they look more like trees. This is more of a vision of what I kind of had for this perennial bed. I did want the whole thing, of course, to be filled with stuff and to not be able to see any gaps at all. But that is what I'm going to work towards. And I'm just loving all those colors. I just wanted it to be patches of color, just like an impressionist painting. And right now I have one darling bloom on this rose of Sharon. I have two rows of Sharons in this perennial bed, and this is one of them. This one I bought last year, and deer came in and they just ate every part of it, and it just didn't even look like it was going to survive. And then I have another rose of Sharon right here. Look how short it is. It's only about a foot and a half tall. I hope that's not its growth habit. I guess I'm gonna have to go see if I can find the tags, because I thought that it would, grow tall and kind of fill in that space, but so far it's been kind of wimpy. I gotta show y'all the gross gnarled trunk of this kale. Look how huge it is. I guess I've been growing it for I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 years really. I had it in a pot, and I had some other flowers and things growing in it, and so when I was filling in this bed, I just put it in here. I didn't expect it to live, and now it is as tall as the fence, and it has flowered, and I gotta be honest, it stinks. It's stinky. It's a stinky kale smelling thing, but I love the color of it, don't you? And bonus, look at this, it's kale seeds. I'm growing my own kale seeds. I never expected to be able to harvest kale seeds. I've turned my front yard into a wildflower meadow. Well, not really wildflowers. It's more like zinnia and agastache. But I mean, I do have this coneflower right here, this seed that I threw out. And the butterflies adore coneflower. They really do. So definitely grow that. And I just threw the seeds out. I guess it was in the spring. I came out here, threw the seeds out, shuffled along, and kind of stomped them down. I didn't plant anything. I just let whatever wanted to live. That's usually the way seeds go with me. I can't, I'm not good at it. I want to get better at that. That's going to be my goal this coming spring and fall, to try to do better with starting seeds. This is the first cosmos that I've ever grown, and now that I know what it looks like, I won't yank it out when I'm pulling weeds over here. And here is a coneflower seedling. There are quite a few of them. Some of these zinnias are original seeds from my grandmother's yard that my mother saved for me and gave to me. And every year I cut off the flowers and lay them out flat and let them dry, the spent flowers. And then I just bring them out by the handfuls and throw them to the wind. And this is what happens. It's a very fun color explosion. It's a little cray-cray. Oh, here is a horse mint. It's like a bee balm. It's a Monarch, and I don't know if I threw those seeds out or if that's from several years ago, but that horse mint is so lovely. Can't wait to show y'all it blooming. I need to free up more of my little trellises, because here, look at this. This is a passion flower vine flowering, and I want passion flower vine to grow just insanely. I never have enough of it, and I need it to grow as much as possible here in the front yard so that I can have clouds of Gulf fritillaries in August. Look at this seed pod. This is a seed pod for the aquatic milkweed, and one of the reasons why now when I see the beetles, milkweed beetles on the milkweed, I'm going to smush them, because they will suck the juices out of the seed pods and ruin them and make the seeds, unusable. And I want to save seeds so that I can give some to my friend Carol, and also so that I can attempt to grow more of it. Because when you have seed, you have infinite possibilities. These are the lovely pale pink flowers of the swamp milkweed, and butterflies find them irresistible. I cannot wait to come out here and have butterflies flitting all over them. Now, my milkweed has been attacked by some aphids, and I will need to come out here and just wash them off a little bit with water. But once the monarchs start laying eggs on the milkweed, I don't do that anymore. I just try to let the ladybugs take care of the rest, and they will. I mean, it gets icky by the end of the season, and I'll cut it down to the ground, because it does. You know how aphids are, yuck. But I don't want to disturb the monarchs, so I let them do their thing. Okay, here's another lavender that I have killed. It is dying. This is what they do. This is what they do when I plant them. And they'll look good for a while, and then it starts getting brown on the bottom, and the brown just keeps coming up and up. It's probably, I'm just gonna give up. It's ridiculous. But this is another one, and it hasn't bloomed since I bought it. It had blooms on it when I bought it, and it looks good. So what I'm gonna do with this pot is I am going to throw the lavender away, and I'm going to rescue that Penta right there that is getting overgrown. So gonna perform a rescue operation on that. I'm just loving the stillness of this morning and just the sunshine. It's gonna be a gorgeous, gorgeous day. I hope I can capture some butterflies when I come home for lunch for y'all. I'm so surprised that even this sad little vinca that has, not vinca, borage, that has been dug up and abused by the armadillo, even it is blooming. It's so cool. Look at these fun little mushrooms that came up in this pot. They look like darling little parasols. Can't you just imagine a little frog using them as a way to get out of the rain? I wanted to give you a little perspective on where this hole is before I show you the adventure that happened in this hole earlier this week. So we have these two little notches out of the bricks in the base of our wall, and I was out here one day without my camera, and I heard a noise, and I looked over, and there was a snake, and it was a non-venomous snake. It was like a garter snake, and he went from this area right here, and he crawled along the edge of the wall, and I saw him go up in to this hole right here, all the way in. And I was like, wow, that's interesting, and maybe not okay, but kind of interesting. And then later on that day, I came out, and I did have my phone, and his head was sticking out like he was hunting from that hole. And I took a little bit of a video of it, and I'm going to share it with you. But told my husband about it. He's not very pleased with that. So I want to run that snake out and then stop up that hole, because, you know, I guess it's not a good idea to have snakes living in your brick wall. He can't get into the house from there. There's like no hole through the wall or anything. But I just thought it was kind of interesting and funny, and I hope you'll get a kick out of it too. Thank y'all so much for joining me in my garden. I enjoy getting to read your comments and hearing what's going on in your gardens. I love it. It just makes me so happy to think that we've got this connection all over the world, our gardening connection, and it just feels just so like a small town garden club. So thank you for the comments, and I can't wait to find out what y'all are doing in your
gardens this week, and I can't wait to share some things that have happened in our garden.